Hey folks, so we're back to looking for the best all-around small game load, and today we have the Fiocchi Goldern Pheasants. These are a 20 gauge load. They have 2 3/4 inch shells. They have 1 ounce number 5s, and they're moving at 1,245 feet per second according to the box. We'll be shooting them in the same 2 20 gauges that we've been shooting this whole test in. Let's take a moment and go up to the table. We'll take a close-up look at the 2 20 gauges, and we'll come back down here and shoot these Fiocchis and see how they do. So here we have our Fiocchi Goldern Pheasants, along with our 2 shotguns that we'll be shooting today. Here on the bottom, we have a Stevens 512. It is a 20 gauge with a 3-inch chamber, and it has 26-inch over and under barrels, and today we're choked at 5.85. Above it here, we have a Remington SPR 210. It is a 20 gauge side-by-side with a 3-inch chamber, and it also has 26-inch barrels, and it also is choked at 5.85 today. So let's take these golden pheasants down to the range and pattern these things and see if they'll make a good squirrel load. So today we have a Remington SPR 210. It's a side-by-side. It's a 20 gauge, 3-inch chambered gun with 26-inch barrels, and today we'll be shooting a 5.85 choke from 30 yards. We have a 12-inch bullseye target down there. We'll be patterning this to simulate a shot during squirrel season, patterning it for squirrel hunting. So let's shoot this and see what we get. Alright, let's see what we got. This is take 2 with the Remington side-by-side. Alright, so here we have one of the targets for the Fiocchi Goldern Pheasants that we shot with the Remington SPR 210. We've shot multiple times with that Remington, and we were not patterning very good. We couldn't figure it out. But this is the best target. Usually, we only show you one target, and we only shoot one target for the video. But this is the best of the targets. We'll talk about this when we get up to the table. But as far as this target goes, we have a good grouping at point of aim. I think we have 52 or 53 pellets here. So that's about 30% of the load from 30 yards. And it's a 1 ounce number 5. It'll have 170 pellets in it. We have a decent spread on the outside edges around the point of aim. So this target, if the golden pheasant performed like this every time, it wouldn't be a bad squirrel load. But it is inconsistent. We have here our Stevens 512. This is an over and under 20 gauge. It has a 3-inch chamber. It has 26-inch barrels, and today we'll be shooting a choke that is choked at 5.85. We have a 12-inch bullseye target set up at 30 yards. We'll be simulating squirrel hunting, so that's what we're patterning for today. So let's shoot this thing and see what we get. Alright, let's see what we got. Alright, here we have the target for the Fiocchi Goldern Pheasants, shot from the Stevens 512. We have a good concentration of pellets at point of aim. We have a total of 52 pellets in this 12-inch circle. That is about 30% of the load from 30 yards. So, as long as the performance is consistent with this grouping of pellets at point of aim, I wouldn't have any problems using this in the Stevens 512 for squirrel hunting. Alright folks, so these Fiocchi Goldern Pheasants have been giving us all sorts of trouble. For the most expensive game load, we have been getting inconsistent performance out of them, and we couldn't figure out why. But we think we figured it out. The shot cups, the wads and the shot cups, they are performing inconsistently. The Stevens seems to be able to, for some reason or other, handle it a little bit better. But the Remington side-by-side just cannot handle it. We have here one that performed pretty good. the petals opened up kind of like they're supposed to. It released the shot. You see, this one here never opened up. And here we have another one that did exactly like it was supposed to. It opened completely up. It released the shot. It did what it was supposed to. But we've been getting a lot of these that have not been opening up at all. They just hit the target down there, and you see the wads bounce off the backboard. They're not releasing the shot. And that's why they're not performing that well. It seems to be more trouble in the Remington side-by-side than in the Stevens. It's just something about the Remington that is the shot cups are not opening up. So I don't know if it's the gun or if it's the manufacturing, but needless to say, the Remington side-by-side and these Fiocchi Goldern Pheasants do not get along. It doesn't matter which choke we shoot them in or from what distance. Alright, so here we have the targets for the Goldern Pheasant. We've brought them back up to the table. I've explained the situation with the waddings. I'm going to show you two targets for the Remington SPR 210, the best and the worst. But first, let's start with the Stevens 512 because it was fairly consistent, even though we were having no trouble with the waddings not releasing the shot. This target has 52 of 170 pellets on it. That's right around 30%. We have a good number of pellets at point of aim. We definitely would have got our squirrel. So if the performance is consistent, which it has been in the Stevens 512, we would be just fine with this as a squirrel load. And there's the Stevens up there. Alright, now for the Remington. Here's its best target. It has 53 of 170 pellets in the 12-inch circle, which is about 30% of the load. We have a good number of pellets at point of aim. We would have got our squirrel had he been sitting there. So that's fine. We're good there. So here's the worst target for the Remington SPR 210. The shot cup simply didn't release the shot. We have a few pellets on the target, but not many. Less than 20. So with the inconsistent performance of the Fiocchi Goldern Pheasants, I wouldn't use them in the Remington SPR 210 to squirrel hunt. It just ain't worth the time and effort, especially for what we paid for them. Remember, the Goldern Pheasants were the most expensive load that we purchased. So, but I wouldn't have any issues at all with squirrel hunting with the Stevens 512 with its 585 choke and these Fiocchi Goldern Pheasants. So in closing with the Fiocchi Goldern Pheasants, we've shot it at 20 yards simulating rabbit hunting. We've shot it at 30 yards simulating squirrel hunting. We had all sorts of issues with the Fiocchi Goldern Pheasants. We believe we've found the cause, which was the shot cups simply were not opening, they were not releasing the shot, and we were getting inconsistent performance. So with the Fiocchi Goldern Pheasants being the most expensive game load we purchased, the inconsistent performance, I would not purchase them for squirrel or rabbit hunting out of those two shotguns. If I had to choose, I'd use the 512 and be fairly comfortable with it. But you shouldn't have to settle. You should know that your equipment is going to work when you're hunting. So, until next time, y'all stay safe in the squirrel woods. And God bless.